Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kadash, double wonders unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone who rule well, and shalom to the whole full elect. This Paya Allah from the GMS London camp, coming back at you again with its truth. This video is going to be entitled, Nationality is Known by the Seed. Okay, and I'm just going to go into the scriptures and break down how you determine a person, male or female's nationality. Okay, so this is Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by their polls. Okay, so the point being that I'm going to hone in on is they said, and they declared their pedigrees after their fathers by the house of their fathers. Okay, now the word pedigree, when you go into the English etymology, what you find there is pedi meaning foot and gree meaning gene or seed. Okay, the foot of their seed. Now the foot of their seed would be Israel. Okay, because the families that were there that were being assembled were the fathers that were the sons of the man known as Israel. Okay, so Judah, Benjamin, Levi, etc., etc. Well, Levi wasn't known as a tribe at the time. You had Dan instead. Okay, but so on and so forth at that present time. Okay, but that determines the house of what your nationality is, your father's house. And I'm going to go further into this by going to Exodus 1 and 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob. Now, what are the loins? The loins is basically speaking of a man's penis. And it's speaking about Jacob's penis, okay? His testicles, okay? You know, the seed that came forth from it, the sperma, which the word sperm goes back to the Greek sperma, which means seed, okay? So that shows you it's one and the same. Where 70 souls for Joseph was in Egypt already, okay? So basically, all the seed is what? It's from the man, okay? The woman is basically the best analogy to use that given by, you know, the apostles, man, is basically the apple seed analogy, man. You take an apple, you plant it in say we're in England right now, you plant an apple seed in England, you're gonna get an apple, okay? You plant an apple seed in China, you're gonna get an apple. You ain't planting no apple seed and getting no orange. You know what I mean? You could, I don't care. The grass could look orange, but the seed, the plant that's gonna shoot forth and the fruit that's gonna bear is gonna be an apple seed. And that's the same with the men. Okay. So men, they have the seed and they implant their seed being a sperm into a woman, and then when a woman gets impregnated, guess what happens? She basically acts as if the earth, okay, nourishes the seed, supplements it in growth of 9 months, 10 months, and then basically it's brought forth, okay, as a child, being of the lineage of the father, as we read in Numbers, the 1st chapter, okay. But I want to even progress on, because you have some people that bring out this madness about race mixing, and I want to destroy that, because we already shown you that the man determines a seed of a male or female, determines the lineage of a male or female. So you get these people that come out and say, well, the woman has an influence too, or you have this modern day bullshit known as mixed race, half caste, biracial, okay? All that shit is a lie that was conjured up by Esau, man. That shit don't exist in the word. Now this is Matthew 1. I'm going to start from verse 1. The book of the generation of Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Now this is the book of the generation of Yahushua. Now let's see, this is the generation talks about the genealogy, going back to the word that we read in Numbers, the 1st chapter, being pedigree. Okay? So this is the pedigree of Yahushua that goes back to the fathers of Israel. Even goes back to, really goes back to Adam, being the first man. Okay? But this is verse 5. And Salmon begat Boaz of Rahab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse. Okay? So basically, now when you go into, Ruth is a Moabite. When you go to Ruth 1:4, it tells you that she was of the women of Moab. Okay, the Lord was dealing with her because the Lord deals with controversy, man. You go through the whole lineage. I just read in this chapter the same verse, Rahab the harlot. When you read, this is the Boaz being begot of Rahab. That Rechab, as it says, is Rahab the harlot, spoke of in the time of the Exodus, man, when we were going into Israel. Okay, so she was a heathen. All right, so there's heathens in the lineage, you know what I mean? But guess what? When you go to Hebrews 7:14, it tells you what nation the Lord is of, what the genealogy is, genealogy of the Lord is. Hebrews 7:14, for it's evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Now the tribe of Judah is named after who? Judah, the man that's the son of Israel, the fourth-born son of the man known as Israel. Okay, Yahweh. Okay, so the Lord, it says it's evident, it's obvious that the Lord sprang out of Judah, being the offspring. He's a Judite, basically. So it didn't say he was part Moab, part Canaan, part this, part that. It just said he sprang out of the tribe of Judah, okay? So there's no such thing as race mixing. When you go into Wisdom of Solomon 7:1, it tells you how Solomon, funny enough, as well, being the same man, Yahushai, was compacted of blood in his mother's womb of 10 months of the seed of man, all right? So he draws his lineage from who? From where? The man, okay? So that madness is thrown out the box, man. That's bullshit. Okay. So moving on, this is Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Okay, so I'm going to read this again and break it down. Right, so it says, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance. When did the Most High divide the nations, man? Going back into the Tower of Babel, which was around the time of Peleg, which is named Peleg, going into the Lashon Kodash, the Paleo-Hebrew, is Pelag, which means division. Because that was that time when the Most High made the division of the nations because they were all one. They're all together in during the time of the Tower of Babel. And he came down there and confounded their language and split them up. Okay, and gave them all their inheritances. That's why he had the land of Japhet being Europe. That's why he had the land of Ham being so-called Africa today. And then you have the other different portions of land named after different people, man, during that time. Okay, so that it said divided the nations their inheritance being the land when he separated the sons of Adam. The sons of Adam being separated, that was done on the table of nations. In Genesis, the 10th chapter, it tells you how there were different men that became the progenitors, the forefathers of different nations. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So they got their portion in accordance with Israel, because Israel is a lot of its inheritance, as it goes on to say, for the Lord's portion is his people, being the 12 tribes of Israel. And there's no such thing as spiritual Israelites. Your spirit is determined. You know, in order for you to be a spiritual Israelite, you have to be a fleshly Israelite. Okay, you gotta have to be born through the lineage. Okay, because your spirit is within your body and flesh, but it's passed on down through your lineage. Okay, so yeah. But today what you also have is confusion, because you have Esau. Basically what he's done is he's mounted up all the nations, heaped up all the nations unto himself, and changed the names of the people to what he determined the names to be. Because we're in the time of of Great Babylon, okay? And the word Babylon goes back to the Hebrew Babel, which means confusion. Or, you know, that's why they say a person is babbling, because basically that goes back into the story of the Tower of Babel, how everyone was speaking in different languages, different tongues, and they couldn't be understood. All right? So basically, this is, you know, this time that we're in is the only time we've had all these people in this mad confusion where they don't know who they are. The people that are ancient in certain places within the land, example being the Arabs, know they descend from Ishmael, because they're untouched in that sense of a way. They know who they are. And even when you go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, it tells you about them taking crafty counsel to cut off the name of Israel. So they, in order to know who we are, they know who they are, okay? Because they know we're a threat. And it tells you even in Revelations, the 11th chapter, how they would also cut us off because, you know, we troubled them during the time of our rule when we were in our right mind, okay? But the thing is, all of this shit that's going on right now, this BS that Esau's doing, is going to be done away with when the Lord makes his appearance upon the earth. So this is Matthew Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. This is talking about the great day, the day that's like none else. This is the main thing we're out here to do, man. We've been born solely and purposely to basically prophesy the downfall of this kingdom. We're those, Lord willing, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Razah, we're doing the works presently, and we pray that the Spirit sups with us and continues to sup with us to do the works until the time of the end. We've been born with this purpose, this goal in mind, to basically preach the downfall of this kingdom. All right, that's the sole purpose. The spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. So it said, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, what is his glory? The glory is the time of when he comes in the fathership and basically takes up all the elect of the nation of Israel, okay, and destroys this kingdom off the face of the earth. And this kingdom pertains to Esau, man, because it tells you Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So he's going to come with his glory and his magnificence and all power and all the holy angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, because he's going to take, as it tells you in Revelations, he had many thrones upon his head. Because basically he's going to take the power away from many thrones, Salakia, many crowns upon his head. Because he's going to take each and every crown, okay, upon the heads of the heathen, and all these the heathen on this earth, and take their power upon himself and rule this world in righteousness, because that is his soul. That's his inheritance. Okay, then shall he sit upon his throne of glory. Now this is the point. And before him shall be gathered all nations. So all the nations are going to be gathered, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Purposely for what? The time of the end, and being the nation of Israel being gathered up onto the, all the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're going to be gathered onto the Lord, and the rest, the goats, primarily being Esau, they're going to be putting Esau going into 1,000-year slavery, and then it tells you the wicked is made for the day of evil. If I'm saying it correctly, basically, after there's no more need for them, they're going to be exterminated, okay? And then all these nations are going to be separated and appointed back into their lands and be tributary unto us, man. So with that, man, I pray you edified. Shalom.